Have you ever seen such a strange anime? The male protagonist, Ryota, is forever trapped at level 1, and all his attributes are at the lowest level. Generally speaking, he will live a hard life in another world. Surprisingly, he conquers 3 beautiful girls in 1 week and buys an expensive new house. It turns out that although Ryota is trapped at level 1 forever, he has the highest S-level drop and luck attributes in this world. Every time he encounters a monster that can't be defeated, there will always be various accidents to help him kill the monster. Additionally, he can gain strength developing drops after killing special monsters. As a result, he grows into a powerful adventurer in a very short time. In a dungeon in another world, a girl named Emily has just killed a slime. Surprisingly, the loot item from this slime is a boy instead of bean sprouts. The boy's name is Ryota, and he also has no idea why he is here. Under Emily's explanation, he learns that he has come to a strange world where everything is gathered from monster loot items, and now he is on the ground floor. As long as he defeats the slime here, he will get bean sprouts from them. The value of dungeons is determined by their skill levels, and they can only move to higher level dungeons with increased levels. Because of her low level, Emily can only kill monsters on the ground floor to increase her skill level and gathers bean sprouts as food. Coincidentally, there is a device for checking attributes on the nearby wall, so Emily takes Ryota there to check their attributes. Emily is now at level 3 with a relatively high strength attribute, and she has the potential to be increased to level 40. The screen of the device reminds Ryota of the computer games he used to play. He then puts his hand on the device to check his attributes. Unexpectedly, the device shows that Ryota can only be increased to level 1, and all his main attributes are at the lowest level. Judging from the device, Ryota can no longer improve his skill level no matter how hard he tries. But when he turns to the second page of the result, he finds that although his main attributes are at a low level, his secondary attributes concerning drops and luck are at the highest S level, which is dozens of times higher than that of normal people. To prove his speculation, Ryota borrows a weapon from Emily and spends a long time killing a slime himself. Just then, he is surprised to see that the slime he killed drops dozens of times bean sprouts than Emily. Ryota gets a little excited at the result. Emily is also shocked since it is the first time she has encountered this situation in her 2 years here. After then, Emily makes the dinner with bean sprouts they have gathered. When Ryota tastes the delicious bean sprout soup, he can't help but shed tears since he hasn't had such a warm dinner with someone for a pretty long time. He used to be a corporate slave, who was busy with work every day and had no time for himself. To save time, he always ate cold bentos for meals. Eventually, he fell ill from overwork and asked for a sick leave. However, after he returned to work, he continued working overtime to make up for his absence. One day, he fell asleep at the company and found himself awakened in this strange world. Hearing his experience, Emily hugs Ryota and comforts him that all his hard work will be rewarded. The longer time he waits, the richer the reward will be. She can tell that Ryota has worked hard for a long time, so it is time for him to be rewarded. Touched by her, Ryota has better impressions of Emily. Now that Ryota has accepted his travel to another world, the first thing he needs to do is to find a living place. He hears from Emily that there are houses for rent in the towns nearby, but having such a low level, Emily can barely earn money, and thus can only live in the dungeon. Ryota then leaves Emily temporarily and comes to the town, where he finds merchants specialized in gathering monster loot items. The currency there is pilos. The bean sprouts he has got can be sold for 200 pilos, but renting a house costs 2,000 pilos for a night, and even a bowl of noodles costs 500 pilos. Ryota then kills slimes in the dungeon every day, and since he has an S-level drop attribute, it only takes him 3 days to earn enough money to rent a house. As a reply to warm bean sprout soup, Ryota immediately rents a house for Emily. Although the house is dilapidated, its monthly rent is 20,000 pilos. Seeing Ryota's rough palms and the dark circles under his eyes, Alice is so touched that she invites Ryota to live together and offers to make bean sprout soup for him every day. From then on, Ryota's life in another world officially begins. One day, while selling bean sprouts, he hears that a new dungeon has appeared nearby. It is said that the dungeon is very strange since the monsters there do not have any drops. Believing that he will be different from others owing to his S-level drop attributes, Ryota comes to the dungeon. Although Ryota cannot defeat monsters there, his S-level luck attribute takes effect. Before he starts attacking it, the monster is struck unconscious by the shattered stone pillar aside, creating a long time for him to kill the monster. After then, he discovers that the monster has dropped a seed. He picks up the seed and it is immediately absorbed by him. After then, the sound of the system comes from his head, telling that his maximum HP rises by 1 point. Knowing the drop improves the attributes instead of increasing the skill level, Emily is very shocked. After then, Ryota does more experiments to make out the situation. Eventually, they find that the monster in this dungeon will only drop seeds after being killed by Ryota, while Emily cannot see or touch the seeds. Ryota speculates that this strange dungeon is dedicated to people with special attributes like him. Therefore, he has been killing monsters in this dungeon for the past few days until he raises his HP to the highest S level. He decides to go to the second floor to kill more powerful monsters. When he comes to the second floor, he finds that although monsters here are much stronger than on the ground floor, they can't hurt him at all because of his S-level HP. Therefore, relying on the strength of his body, he kills a slime and gets a giant carrot. Just then, a beautiful bunny girl appears. Finding Ryota is only level 1, she pats Ryota's head and says, "I hate low levels the most." Then she leaves with her face blushing as if she had seen something, while Ryota has no idea what is going on. After a day's hard work, Ryota gets many carrots. He sells these carrots for 8,000 pilos and even brings some carrots home. Emily is very happy to see him earn so much money. Just then, someone knocks at the door. Opening the door, Ryota finds it is the bunny girl he met earlier. Seeing Ryota, the girl pats his head again, and it is surprising to see Ryota doesn't hurt at all. As a result, she pats a teammate next to her, and her teammate is immediately injured and bleeding. Actually, this bunny girl has a very powerful strength while Ryota has S-level HP. So he is not injured. It turns out that the girl picked up the carrots left by Ryota in the dungeon and found them delicious. Therefore, she comes to Ryota's house for the carrots he gathered. Just then, she sees Emily next to Ryota holding many carrots and immediately drooling. Seeing the bunny girl loves carrots so much, Emily kindly invites her to come in for dinner. Tasting Emily's carrot-based dinner, the bunny girl is immediately conquered by her cooking skills. After the bunny girl leaves, Emily expresses her gratitude to Ryota. She had always eaten alone before living with Ryota, and now she is happy to have meals with him. Hearing her words, Ryota immediately remembers his previous life, when he worked overtime and ate alone. He also cherishes the feeling of eating with Emily now. The next day, Ryota goes to the second floor of the newly opened dungeon again. The seeds dropping on the ground floor before increased his HP, and he can't wait to gather drops on the second floor. Here he encounters a zombie-like monster. Unfortunately, his weapon breaks the moment it pierces the monster's body. As a result, the monster immediately punches him in the face. Although not getting injured, Ryota feels very disgusting. Even so, he can only beat the monster to death with his fists. As soon as the monster is defeated, it drops a seed. Picking up it, Ryota hears the sound of the system again, informing him his strength increased by 1 point. Just then, Ryota meets the beautiful bunny girl who happens to witness the scene just now. Fearing that his secrets will be revealed, Ryota feels nervous. However, the bunny girl just comes to ask for delicious carrots. Taking the chance, Ryota immediately distracts her with promises of carrots. After the bunny girl leaves, Ryota increases his strength to level D by killing monsters. As a result, he quickly gathers more carrots. When he sends carrots to the bunny girl, the surrounding adventurers are startled by him. It turns out that the beautiful bunny girl is named Eve, who has a very strange temper, and many adventurers have been hurt by her, so they dare not approach her. Just then, Urza, the female employee in charge of purchasing supplies in the Adventurers Guild, offers to buy Ryota's carrots at a high price since the carrots have been approved by Eve. It turns out that Eve is a carrot fanatic in addition to her terrifying strengths. The carrots she approved can only be high quality and can be sold for a good price. As a result, the price of carrots that Ryota gathered today is doubled, and he earns 15,000 pilos total today. Eve is a little angry to see all the carrots are sold. She wants to pat Ryota again but is easily blocked by him. Seeing this, the nearby adventurers are stunned since they had experienced the terrifying strength of Eve's attack. Thanks to Eve, Ryota's carrots have been sold at a high price, so he promises Eve that he will bring her carrots tomorrow. From then on, Ryota will go to the dungeon every day for carrots, and invites Eve to have meals together. Their relationship is getting better and better. A few days later, while Ryota is selling carrots for the polis with Emily, Urza suggests they buy a magic cart so that they could bring more supplies out of the dungeon each time. It is exactly what they need right now, so they immediately asks the old man who sells the cart about the price. To their surprise, a quality magic cart costs 10 million pilos, and even the simpler one costs 3 million, which they can't afford with their current wealth. As a result, they can only leave there. Ryota decides to save money and buy it later. At this moment, a roar of monsters appears in the city. Emily recognizes it as a giant gorilla spawned outside the dungeon, which is powerful but will not have any drops. Therefore, no adventurers want to fight against it. Just then, Ryota sees that Urza is in danger and immediately protects her. Eve also comes for a rescue with her teammates. After being rescued, Urza expresses her gratitude to Ryota. However, when she sees the destroyed towns around her, she shows a sad expression. Seeing this, Ryota promises to defeat the monster. He doesn't want his happy life to be ruined by the monster. Emily also agrees with him and promises to join them. The surrounding adventurers all consider Ryota arrogant as the level 1 adventurer, but when Ryota begins to attack, they are all shocked since he kills the monster completely with one punch. The nearby residents all cheer for Ryota, and the adventurers are also impressed by him. Just then, Ryota is surprised to find that the monster said to have no loot items drops something that emits a strong light. Later, Ryota is surprised to find that the monster said to have no loot items drops a revolver and ammunition. To test the power, Ryota takes the revolver to the dungeon and attacks some monsters. Surprisingly, this revolver is very lethal to monsters, but Ryota worries about where to get ammunition once he runs out of it. Since Ryota has developed his strength in the dungeon, the monsters on the second floor are no longer a challenge for him. He decides to take Emily to the third floor. It's said that the monsters there are black slimes, but when they arrive, they find that the monsters are actually cockroach slimes. The cute Emily, who hates cockroaches, instantly goes berserk. Fortunately, after killing the monster, she returns to normal. The loot item on this floor is pumpkins. Not willing to see Emily goes crazy again, Ryota proposes to go upstairs for monsters that can drop grapes. However, on their way to the fourth floor, they encounter a large number of monsters, which drive Emily crazy in an instant. Frightened by her, Ryota quickly pulls out his revolver and shoots at monsters. With Ryota's efforts, the monsters are all killed and Emily returns to normal, but these monsters drop so many pumpkins that even the way to the fourth floor is blocked. As a result, they decide to carry pumpkins out of the dungeon and sell them. With too many pumpkins to carry, they have to pile these pumpkins at the entrance of the dungeon and sell them in batches. However, when they return, they find the pumpkins left have been gnawed by wild animals. Just then, Emily goes berserk again. It turns out that the cockroach slimes on the third floor have appeared here. Ryota wants to kill them with his revolver, only to find he has run out of ammunition. As a result, he has to kill the cockroaches with slippers. After killing these monsters, Ryota is surprised to see them drop ammunition. Feeling confused, he turns to the staff of the Adventurers Guild, Urza. She tells Ryota that if the drops in the dungeon are left in a place where there is no one, they will turn into monsters again after some time. If these drops turn into monsters after leaving the dungeon, they will become strays. The cockroaches Ryota killed earlier had been judged to be strays, so the drops were ammunition. Suddenly, Ryota comes up with a new idea. What if he kills strays from the new dungeon where monsters only drop the attribute enhancement seeds? To test his speculation, he tries to take the seeds out of the dungeon, only to find that they will be absorbed as soon as touched by him. Then he tries to take monsters out of the dungeon, but monsters disappear as soon as they leave the dungeon. To figure it out, Ryota turns to Urza again. It turns out to be a protection mechanism for the dungeon. Monsters will disappear when they leave the dungeon or reach other floors they don't belong to. Soon, Ryota comes up with another idea. He throws a monster out of the dungeon, and then kills it with the revolver just before it disappears. To his surprise, it works, and the monster drops an ice magic bullet after being killed. He then puts the bullet into the revolver and shoots at a large tree nearby. Beyond his expectations, the entire tree is instantly frozen. After collecting enough bullets, he immediately goes to the dungeon with Emily to fight monsters. Ryota freezes the monster with the ice magic bullet while Emily kills it. Having a busy day in the dungeon, they return home with today's drops. On the way, they find a female bodyguard and a merchant arguing. Not long ago, the merchant accidentally dropped the cart full of drops off the cliff. Thinking that the drops had been away from humans for too long and would soon become dangerous monsters, the female bodyguard wanted to use long-range magic to destroy them, but the merchant insisted on asking her to retrieve the drops. Just then, the businessman takes the initiative to attack the female bodyguard. Fortunately, she dodges in time. At this time, they discover that the merchant has been possessed by a ghost monster, which is turned from the drops they dropped off the cliff just now. Ryota quickly takes out the revolver and shoots at it. To his surprise, this bullet will take effect on ghost monsters. After then, the female bodyguard persuades Ryota to leave the place as soon as possible. She should be responsible for this work mistake and killing these monsters. Hearing her words, Ryota remembers the tragic days in his previous life, when he was reproached by his leader because of his work mistakes. Therefore, he decides to help the female bodyguard, and he takes out the revolver and shoots at the bottom of the cliff. In an instant, the monsters under the cliff are all frozen. Emily slams a hammer at the monsters, and all the monsters are killed in an instant. Shocked by Ryota's strength, the female bodyguard expresses her gratitude to him. After then, Ryota takes Emily to check their levels. In the past few days, Emily has continuously killed monsters with the help of Ryota. As a result, her level has increased very quickly, and now she is level 20. The two are very happy. Emily is glad that she can meet Ryota, and Ryota is also grateful that Emily can make his life in another world full of warmth. They decide to live together in the future. The adventure of Ryota and Emily continues. One day, they encounter a rare monster while collecting supplies in the dungeon. After killing it, Ryota gains finds a necklace, which will double the items dropped by monsters, and he sends the necklace to Emily. Wearing the necklace, the drops Emily gained after killing monsters are doubled. From then on, Emily can collect supplies more efficiently. After the day's adventure, Ryota comes to the Adventurers Guild to sell bamboo shoots they collected today. Just then, a green-haired beauty appears and wants to buy all the bamboo shoots. After tasting Ryota's bamboo shoots, the beauty looks very satisfied, saying that it is the most delicious bamboo shoots she has eaten. After the beauty leaves, Urza tells Ryota that the beauty just now is a very famous gourmet chef. The food she praised will be sold at a high price and Ryota's bamboo shoots will definitely be famous. Urza then asks Ryota to sign an exclusive contract with the guild, so that all the bamboo shoots he collected in the future will be sold by them. She will make Ryota's bamboo shoots branded merchandise and sell them at better prices. Hearing the bamboo shoots can be sold at a better price, Ryota immediately agrees. After returning home, Ryota and Emily make a discussion. They want to save money and buy a larger house. However, because they can only carry drops manually, they have to spend many times carrying drops every day. So they decide to buy a magic cart using the money they have earned and thus will improve the efficiency of collecting drops. Early the next morning, they go to the shop selling the magic cart, only to find that the owner has gone, leaving only his daughter. After talking, they learn that the boss went to a nearby dungeon alone to collect new materials for making magic carts and did not return for several days. Seeing the girl feel desperate, Emily decides to help find her father. They come to a new dungeon and find that although the monsters there will not actively attack, they are very good at defense. Even Ryota's powerful bullets cannot hurt them. Fortunately, Emily's level has increased a lot recently. Thanks to Emily, they easily defeat the monsters. Finally, they find the shop owner who is sleeping on the ground on the 10th floor. Seeing the shop owner sleeping here while leaving his daughter alone, Emily angrily wakes him up. The shop owner quickly explains that he was blocked by the monsters so that he could not return. He came here to collect materials from a floating monster, whose body is even lighter than the air and keeps floating in the air so the boss can't defeat them. Ryota asks Emily to sit on his shoulder to raise the height, helping the shop owner defeat the monster. The floating monster drops a blue flower. With the help of Ryota and Emily, the shop owner takes the flower out of the dungeon and places it in a space, waiting for the flower to turn into a monster again. It turns out that the material that he wants isn't the flower, but the hard body of this monster. Since the monster's body is lighter than the air, when the blue flower turns into a monster, it immediately floats into the air. Fortunately, Ryota immediately shoots an ice bullet and captures the monster. To thank Ryota for helping him and saving the town from the gorilla, the shop owner sends him a new magic cart for free. Ryota and Emily happily accept the gift. One day, Ryota pushes the cart and comes to the guild to sell drops. Just then, he meets a bald adventurer who is arguing with Urza, claiming that the price of the drops he brought is more than 8,400 pilos, and Urza must be embezzled. Ryota picks up the adventurer's drops and throws them into the magic cart, which shows that the price of these drops is exactly 8,400 pilos. It turns out that this magic cart can calculate the price of drops. Seeing that Ryota has exposed his lies, the bald adventurer intends to attack him, but Ryota easily blocks the attack and knocks him unconscious. After then, Urza thanks Ryota for his help, and boldly kisses Ryota. It seems that the unusual Ryota has captured her heart. Having no idea of how to deal with Urza's feelings, Ryota stops thinking about it temporarily and continues fighting monsters in the dungeon with Emily. Using the magic cart, they are much more efficient at collecting drops and quickly earn enough money to buy a new house. Soon after, they move into the new house. Emily is very happy with the house, and Eve often comes over for dinner. Seeing Emily's happy expression, Ryota feels very satisfied. One day, Ryota meets a red-haired man in the Adventurers Guild, who is accompanied by two beautiful women. He heard rumors about Ryota recently and is curious about Ryota's power, so he offers to have an arm wrestle with Ryota. Seeing the man surrounded by beauties, Ryota is a little jealous. He is also interested in the man's strength. Not surprisingly, Ryota wins the competition. Remaining unreconciled, the red-haired man launches a sneak attack when he stands up, only to be punched by Ryota. Interestingly, instead of getting angry, the red-haired man invited Ryota to join his family. It turns out that the red-haired man is named Neptune, who is the head of a powerful family nearby. Ryota rejects the man's invitation. He doesn't want to join any families because he is already satisfied to live with Emily. At night, he returns home and tells Emily about the experience today. But to live safely in this world, Ryota must continue improving his strength. The next day, he comes to the dungeon where he can gain strength by improving drops. To his surprise, he meets a princess who is killing monsters with her guard here. It turns out that the monsters in this dungeon will drop oxygen after being killed. To collect it, they invent a magic box that can absorb drop items after killing monsters, and the collector's avatar will be shown on the box. They make money by selling oxygen in this dungeon. To persuade Ryota to advertise their boxes, they send some magic boxes to him. Ryota immediately comes up with a new idea. He uses the box to collect seeds dropped from monsters in this dungeon. After collecting enough seeds, he takes them out of the dungeon. The seeds immediately turn into strays, and Ryota gets a lot of bullets after killing these monsters. Now, he no longer needs to worry about the lack of bullets. Later, he meets Emily while doing an experiment. He takes the seeds dropped by the monsters on higher floors out of the dungeon. The seeds immediately turn into strays. After killing them, Ryota gains 2 different bullets in white and orange. When he picks up the orange bullet, the system tells him it is a fire bullet. When he picks up the white bullet, he looks a little surprised after hearing the explanation from the system. It seems that these white bullets are very useful. Then, Ryota is immersed in collecting bullets for a long time. At this moment, he suddenly feels a strange sensation coming from his body. Emily tells him that she comes to inform Ryota that a magic storm is coming. Since Emily doesn't know much about the magic storm, Ryota turns to Urza. Under Urza's explanation, he learns that there will be occasional magic storms in this world, during which all magicians will temporarily lose their magical powers, and thus they will avoid entering the dungeon until the storm ends. Just then, a man rushes into the guild to ask for help. His partner is a magician but is trapped in the dungeon due to his inability to use magic. The kind Ryota decides to help the man. He comes to the dungeon following the man's words. The monsters in this dungeon are immune to all physical attacks, and can only be hurt by magical attacks. Although Ryota cannot use magic, he discovers that the fire bullets he collected not long ago belong to magical attacks. So he killed monsters along the way with fire bullets and eventually finds the man's partner. But the number of monsters is so large that Ryota runs out of bullets when they are about to leave the dungeon. Just then, Emily and Eve attract a group of strays for Ryota to create bullets. With their help, Ryota escapes the dungeon successfully. The magician is seriously injured in the dungeon and falls into a coma. Without timely treatment, she will probably die. Unfortunately, no one can cast healing magic to cure the magician. Just then, Ryota shows a confident expression. He takes out the white bullet he collected earlier and shoots at the magician. The next moment, the magician quickly recovers and is out of danger. It turns out that the function of white bullets is healing. In this way, Ryota helps everyone again. Ryota's adventure continues. As he grows stronger, he is already able to kill monsters on the 5th floor of the dungeon. The drop items on this floor are watermelons. One day, Ryota takes watermelons to the Adventurers Guild to sell them and meets the beautiful green-haired gourmet chef again. The gourmet gives high marks again after tasting Ryota's watermelons. Urza immediately signs the contract with Ryota. With the gourmet's approval, Ryota's watermelons will surely be sold for a good price. Now Ryota can easily kill monsters on the 5th floor. Urza reminds him that dungeons are graded and the monsters' strengths will be greatly increased every 5 floors. Monsters on floors 1 to 5 are weaker, so they can enter them casually, but after reaching the 6th floor, the strength of the monsters will be greatly improved, so adventurers need to get an adventurer's license to enter the 6th floor or above. In this way, they can prevent some adventurers from risking their lives to make money. Ryota does have the idea of exploring over 6 floors of the dungeon recently. Therefore, following Urza's guidance, he comes to the license examiner. The exam is very simple. The examiner takes out a cantaloupe, which is the drop from the 6th floor monsters. He puts the cantaloupe in the examination room and waits until it turns into a monster. As long as Ryota can kill the monster, he will get the license. The monster's body is covered with hard steel, and Ryota's attacks cannot hurt it at all. Remembering the physics he learned on Earth, Ryota first shoots a fire bullet at the monster, and after burning it for a while, he shoots an ice bullet. In the end, with one punch, the monster's body is directly shattered into powder. Taking advantage of the temperature, he successfully kills the monster and gets the license. But Ryota still has one more thing to do. He asks Emily to spend 1.5 million pilos buying a special fish. Then, he finds a space and turns the fish into a stray, which is the gorilla that once attacked the town. Later, Ryota shoots an ice bullet to trap the monster and easily kills him. As expected, the monster drops a new revolver. All of these are Ryota's plans. After some investigation, he learns that the special fish will turn into a gorilla. Therefore, he decides to collect another weapon, because he finds that in this way, he can put different bullets on 2 revolvers and launch different attacks. Before Ryota sets off for the 6th floor, an event happened in the town. A group of greedy adventurers controls the 6th floor of a nearby dungeon, where rice is gathered. They don't allow other adventurers to enter unless the Adventurers Guild can raise the price of rice. Ryota decides to go to the dungeon to check on the situation. Coincidentally, he meets Neptune at the door of the dungeon. Neptune tells him that the residents of the town have been very unsatisfied with the group's control of the dungeon and organize many strikes, so he intends to completely eliminate this group of adventurers. Ryota doesn't want to see such a bloody incident happen and proposes to solve the problem. His method is very simple, and that is to drive the group out of the dungeon. He comes to the 6th floor alone. Although surrounded by many adventurers, he doesn't feel frightened at all. He takes out 2 revolvers and shoots at the group. The next moment, the whole group falls asleep. It turns out that he has done many experiments on bullets to explore the function of dual revolvers. Eventually, he finds that if the fire and ice bullets hit the target together, they will turn into a vanishing bullet, which will directly make the monster disappear. After exploring many combinations of bullets, he finds that 2 white bullets will produce a hypnotic effect. With the help of Ryota, Neptune manages to drive the group of adventurers away, and the town returns to peace. Recently, Ryota has become more and more popular. One day, the chief in charge of managing the town finds Ryota and asks him for a favor. The town where Ryota lives is dedicated to selling vegetables, and the town next to them is dedicated to selling meat. Recently, a new dungeon has appeared between the 2 towns, and whoever wins its ownership will get a high profit. Originally, they stipulated that the ownership of it depend on the kind of drops from the new dungeon, but the monsters in this dungeon dropped the same proportion of vegetables and meat, so the leaders of the 2 towns decided to send adventurers to kill the monsters in the dungeon, and the town gains more drops will win the ownership of the dungeon. The chief hears that Ryota's drop attributes are many times more than other adventurers, so he asks him to fight for the dungeon. As long as Ryota succeeds, all goods sold by him will be exempt from taxation. Attracted by the awards, Ryota accepts the chief's proposal. Soon after, he sets off for this new dungeon with Emily. Because of the long distance, they camp in the wild at night. Originally, Ryota is still lamenting that the camping life in the wild is not as comfortable as that at home. Surprisingly, Emily sets up a large tent, puts comfortable furniture in it, and cooks a delicious meal. Seeing this, Ryota is amazed at the capacity of Emily's small bag. After eating, Emily tells Ryota that she is going to burn all the garbage they produced, because in this world, garbage will also become extremely powerful strays if littered. At this point, Ryota is wondering if he can get new bullets after killing the monster. To his surprise, the strength of the monster is more powerful than he thought. Emily's attack is easily blocked. Luckily, Ryota's bullets are powerful enough that the monster is defeated after being attacked by 2 fire bullets and drops a green bullet. Later, Ryota discovers that the green bullet can automatically track monsters. After several days of traveling, Ryota and Emily finally arrive in the new dungeon. Many adventurers have gathered here. Just then, Ryota sees a girl using fire magic to burn garbage, who already has heavy dark circles in her eyes. Since many adventurers are gathering here, there will be a lot of household waste produced every day. Without timely disposal, they will turn into powerful monsters. Ryota sees that the girl is very tired, which reminds him of the hard days he used to work overtime on Earth. Just as he is about to persuade the girl to have a rest, the girl suddenly falls into a coma in his arms. The girl struggles to get up and continue working. Seeing her so persistent, Ryota directly takes out the revolver and shoots a hypnotic bullet at her, forcing her to sleep. When the girl wakes up, she is in the bed of Emily's tent. The garbage outside has been disposed of by Ryota, who has also gained many special bullets during the process. Seeing this, the girl breathes a sigh of relief. Her name is Celeste, and she is a magician responsible for cleaning up garbage. Since the newly opened dungeon does not yet have ownership, adventurers don't need to pay taxes to the town after selling goods from the dungeon. Therefore, it has attracted a lot of adventurers recently, and a lot of garbage is created here. Celeste's experience reminds Ryota of his previous life when he used to work overtime every day, so he decides to help her during the competition. He invites Celeste to live with them, and Emily also treats her with a delicious dinner. Touched by their kindness and enthusiasm, Celeste agrees to the proposal and temporarily stays in the tent prepared by Emily. After that, Ryota begins to take on his mission. He finds the representative of their town and learns that the newly opened dungeon has 10 floors, with odd floors dropping vegetables and even floors dropping meat. Additionally, there are rare monsters on each floor, which produce S-level drops. Therefore, they need to collect more S-level vegetable drops from these rare monsters to win the competition. The representative has sent a large number of adventurers to capture rare monsters for Ryota to kill to increase the S-level vegetable drops. Just then, an adventurer outside comes in and informs them that someone has found a rare monster on the first floor. Ryota hurries to the dungeon. As soon as he sees the monster, he shoots at it, only to find the monster becomes stronger after being resurrected. It turns out that this monster can only be killed after destroying the core in its body. Otherwise, it will be resurrected infinitely and become stronger. Just then, an adventurer from the neighboring town, Eugene, tries to disturb them. She has the lowest F-level drop rate, and if Eugene kills the monster, they will waste a rare monster drop opportunity. Luckily, Ryota shoots a tracking bullet and easily kills the monster, harvesting some rare soybean sprouts. At present, their town is temporarily ahead in this competition. The representative rewards Ryota with a bonus. Ryota takes the money to buy a special ring. After paying a high price for this ring, Ryota puts it in a deserted area. When the ring turns back into a stray, he immediately kills it. Surprisingly, this monster drops the ring again, but now the ring has acquired special attributes. Later, Ryota gives the ring to Emily. Wearing the ring, Emily is surprised to find her drop attribute increased from F to E. Although the attribute only increases one level, it is very useful for her. Originally, she couldn't get any drops from monsters that drop meat, but now she can easily get meat by killing monsters. As the two are happy about the improvement, a rare monster suddenly appears nearby. Just as Ryota is about to kill it, he suddenly realizes that this is a rare monster that drops meat. If he kills it, it will produce lots of S-level meat drops, which is equivalent to helping the neighboring town. At the critical moment, Emily takes off the ring and throws it to Ryota. Later, with their joint efforts, Emily finally kills the monster. Since Emily has the lowest F-level drop rate after taking off the ring, the monster produces no drops. Soon after, the representative of the town finds Ryota again. It turns out that, due to Ryota's participation, the representative of the neighboring town hires a large number of adventurers with F-level drop attributes, intending to eliminate rare monsters that drop vegetables before Ryota can kill these monsters. If the situation continues, they are likely to lose the competition. Soon, Ryota comes up with an idea. He suggests the representative increase the reward to attract more adventurers to help them find rare monsters that produce S-level vegetable drops, and anyone who finds rare monsters can be rewarded with 10 million pilos. The representative takes Ryota's advice. As expected, lured by a large number of bonuses, many adventurers join the search team, and soon find many rare monsters. Ryota easily kills these monsters with the revolver and obtains many rare drops. It seems that they will achieve victory soon. Learning of this, Eugene, as the adventurer belonging to the opposing town, leads a group of adventurers to attack Ryota. They intend to injure Ryota so that he can no longer fight in the dungeon. However, Ryota is much stronger than they thought. He easily defeats this group of adventurers even without using the revolver. To their surprise, Ryota not only doesn't blame them but also uses recovery bullets to heal their injuries. For Ryota, these adventurers are just some struggling workers who work hard for life, so he does not want to cause them trouble. But Ryota also has a reason to win. That is, someone is waiting for him to return home safely. At this moment, Eugene's impression of Ryota changes. After that, Ryota returns to the tent and has dinner with Emily. Early the next morning, Ryota notices there is more trash than usual today. Celeste tells him that the monster lord of this dungeon has recently appeared. As a result, many adventurers dare not enter the dungeon and can only stay outside, thus producing more trash. Worrying that Celeste will overwork and faint again, Ryota finds the representative and offers to defeat the monster lord alone. The representative tells Ryota that the monster lord is so strong that only teams formed by at least 3 adventurers are qualified to hunt it. However, Ryota, together with Emily, can only form a team with 2 adventurers. Learning of this, Celeste offers to join them and hunt the monster lord together, but Ryota worries that the trash outside the dungeon will not be well disposed of without Celeste. Just then, Eugene, who fought against Ryota not long ago, appears. To thank Ryota for healing her and her teammates' injury after the fight, she decides to temporarily help Celeste dispose of the trash with her teammates. Later, Ryota comes to the dungeon with his 2 teammates. They soon encounter the monster lord, which is a bicorn. It not only has a strong body and agile speed but also can make itself immune to all damage with a magic barrier. Fortunately, Ryota soon discovers its weakness. The fire spell used by Celeste can temporarily break the barrier so that they can seize the chance to attack the monster. However, the monster is so strong that they cannot defeat it even after several rounds of attack. Additionally, the only spell Celeste can cast is a high-level spell that drains her magic after only a few uses, and she feels very sorry to be a laggard. Ryota comforts her that she has tried her best. Compared to her power, he cares more about her health. Then, Ryota decides to fight the monster alone. His words remind Celeste of her past experience. At that time, because she could only use one spell and easily drained her magic, she couldn't do much work in the team and was often despised. It was Ryota who gave her warmth and confidence. Touched by Ryota, she bursts out to her last potential, using all her magic to burn away the barrier. With her help, Ryota successfully defeats the monster. The monster drops golden bihorns, which allows the user to cast low-level spells that cost 0 magic. Therefore, Ryota gives it to Celeste, making her finally become a normal mage. After the battle, the competition for the ownership of the dungeon also ends. With the help of Ryota, their town finally gains ownership of this dungeon. Through this battle, Ryota comes up with the idea of forming his own team, so he invites Celeste to join them. In fact, Celeste has had a crush on Ryota during their recent interactions, so she agrees to his request and returns to the town with him. Because of the competition for the dungeon, Ryota has gained a lot of popularity recently. As soon as he returns to the town, he receives a commission from the Adventurers Guild. It turns out that the town will hold an annual harvest festival soon, where dungeon items dropped by rare monsters will be advertised, and there will also be competitions for adventurers. Therefore, the Adventurers Guild asks Ryota to help collect some drops from rare monsters, and they will buy the drops at a high price. To complete the mission, Ryota comes to the special dungeon that will increase his skill levels. He first comes to the 3rd floor to raise his agility level to S level. Then, he goes to the 4th floor, where the seeds dropped from the monsters can improve his physique level. Out of curiosity, he takes the seeds dropped by the monsters here outside the dungeon. After killing the strays these seeds turned into, he gets a new bullet, the biting bullet, which can temporarily trap monsters and immobilize them. Coincidentally, a special potato-like monster appears in the town, allowing Ryota to test the power of the new bullet. With his companion's help, Ryota finds an opportunity to shoot the biting bullet to trap the monster, and then easily defeat it. Surprisingly, the monster drops a satchel that can automatically store dropped items. Unfortunately, Emily broke her hammer during the battle. Ryota intends to buy Emily a new hammer. Learning of this, a weapon merchant in the town immediately finds him. Recently, Ryota's popularity has grown, and his teammates have also attracted the attention of many people, so the merchant decides to give Emily a hammer for free, with the logo of his shop printed on it. Ryota's popularity is bringing him more and more benefits. After that, Ryota accidentally learns from Urza that the currency of this world is also dropped by monsters, so he is very curious about the drops of the stray turned from currency. He takes out currency worthy of 10,000 pilos. When the currency turns into a stray, he immediately kills it and gains a bottle of potion which can increase the adventurer's plant drop attributes in 10 minutes. Although it is useless for Ryota, who already has an S-level drop attribute, he immediately comes with the person who needs the potion. That is Eve, whose plant drop attribute is too low to collect high-quality carrots. Because of this, she hasn't eaten high-quality carrots for a long time. Since Ryota returned to the town, she has always asked him to help collect carrots. Therefore, Ryota gives the potion to her, allowing her to collect the high-quality carrots herself. Learning that only Ryota possesses the potion currently, Eve kneels and asks to join Ryota's team. She has realized that she can eat delicious carrots only if she stays by Ryota's side all the time. As a result, Ryota's team adds another member. Soon after, Ryota takes his teammates to the dungeon to collect items dropped by rare monsters. This time, he encounters a new monster. When attacked by only one person, it will fall into an invincible state and must be killed by another person with the final blow. With the help of his teammates, Ryota successfully kills the special monster, collecting a special drop item, a sapphire. Adventurers carrying this sapphire can reflect part of the monster's attack on itself. However, Ryota thinks this attack method is inefficient, so he sells this sapphire to the guild for 3 million pilos, which also completes the task the guild given to him. After that, Ryota decides to continue improving his strength, so he once again comes to a special dungeon that can increase his skill levels. After defeating monsters on the 5th floor, he gains dropped seeds that increase his mana levels, allowing him to use magic. However, Ryota has no idea about magic. Therefore, he decides to learn some spells first. He buys a magic fruit for 3 million pilos, which allows him to learn a low-level spell after eating it. However, Ryota comes up with another idea. He turns the fruit into a stray and gains another magic fruit after killing it. Surprisingly, the effect of this magic fruit is doubled, and Ryota successfully learns 2 spells after eating it. One spell is called Windblade, which is a common wind spell. Another spell called Reservation is more special, which allows Ryota to transfer his S-level drop rates to another person for the duration of a single monster kill. This spell is completely designed for Ryota's team. In the past, Ryota is always responsible for killing monsters to get more drops. However, although the person who completes the final blow on the monster gains the most experience points, Ryota can only increase to level 1 himself. But now, with the spell, his teammate can also kill the monster, and thus quickly increasing the level. As the Harvest Festival approaches, adventurers also get busy. It is said that great rewards are prepared for the competition at the festival, so many adventurers are busy forming teams to participate in this annual event. While wandering the streets, Ryota encounters a little girl who is looking for a team to join. Noticing that a white-haired adventurer is about to recruit the girl to their team, Ryota immediately intervenes and invites the girl to be his teammate. It turns out that Ryota has seen the white-haired adventurer oppressing his teammates more than once during this time. Not willing to see the little girl also be bullied, he offers to take the little girl into his team. Hearing that Ryota is the adventurer who gained high popularity recently, the girl immediately agrees to his request. The little girl is named Alice, since she can increase to only level 2 and her skill levels are also common. It is very hard for her to join a team. However, Ryota soon discovers something special about Alice. According to Alice, she was born in a dungeon that can improve skill levels. So Ryota speculates that Alice may have some special drops after killing the monsters there, just as the seeds he gained from that dungeon. With the help of Ryota, Alice successfully kills the monster there. Although she doesn't gain the seed, she accidentally tames a monster as her pet. It turns out that Alice is a special adventurer who can tame monsters as pets and ask them to fight for her. Additionally, after the battle, the monsters can be turned into smaller versions that can hide in her clothes. After helping her tame 2 pets, Ryota returns home with Alice. When other teammates see the lovely Alice as well as the cute pets she tames, they are immediately attracted and warmly welcome her. After that, the annual harvest festival begins. There are stalls selling various snacks and small items on the street. Ryota takes the girls and the team to the street. He also teams up with the girls to participate in the competition and wins great rewards. All of them have a good time. Unfortunately, soon after, the accident happens. At night, Alice suddenly walks towards a dungeon as if being summoned. Luckily, she is stopped by Ryota and comes to her senses. She tells Ryota that she felt like being summoned just now and the person who summoned her was in the dungeon not far away, which is also the dungeon where Ryota can get strength developing seeds after killing monsters. Just then, they hear that monsters in the dungeon stop dropping items after being killed. In this world, people get every life necessities by killing monsters. If monsters stop dropping items, people cannot survive. Ryota immediately thinks of Alice's abnormality just now. Remembering that Alice was born in the dungeon, he guesses some accidents happened in the dungeon. Therefore, he rushes to the dungeon alone. Surprisingly, all the monsters in the dungeon have gone missing, which means the dungeon lord is about to appear. Soon, he meets the lord of this dungeon, a female ghost. He immediately shoots at her, but the bullets pass through her body without harming her. He is also kicked away by her. Later, Ryota tries to attack with different bullets, but are either dodged by the lord or go straight through her body. Knocked down by the lord, Ryota is very desperate. At this moment, he is surprised to find that the lord's foot is hurt by a bullet. Recalling the fighting just now, he instantly comes up with an idea. When the lord continues to attack him, he fights back again. This time, the bullets hit the lord's body. It turns out that during the battle just now, Ryota discovers that he can only hit the lord's body when the lord is attacking him. With this discovery, Ryota finally defeats the lord, but he also falls into a coma out of extreme exhaustion. When he wakes up, he sees Emily. She tells him that, thanks to his defeat of the Lord, the drop rate of the dungeon has been restored. Seeing that Ryota has done so much for the town, Emily is very distressed. She wants to announce loudly in public that it is Ryota who helps their life return to normal. However, Ryota explains that he attacked the Lord just to guard his current life so that he can enjoy Emily's bean sprout soup every day. Just then, Ryota is surprised to find the Lord he just defeated dropped a ring with a special function. To verify the ring's function, he immediately wears the ring and defeats a group of monsters. Then, the experience points he gained turn into many crystals in his bag. Just as he is hesitating to find a person to try the effects of these crystals, a princess appears not far away with a group of guards. She once gave Ryota a magic box to help him collect bullets, but now, she seems to be very upset. After communicating, Ryota learns that the recent sale of her magic boxes was very low, so the princess intended to kill the high-level dragon monsters to earn money. Unfortunately, the level of the monsters is too high and it will be very hard for her to defeat the monsters according to her current level. Hearing this, Ryota seems to have thought of something. He gives all the crystals in the bag to the princess, and they are instantly absorbed as soon as the princess touches them. Surprisingly, not only does the princess's level increase, but even her attributes and drop levels also improve, making her strong enough to defeat more powerful monsters. Looking at the handsome and mysterious Ryota, the princess is immediately attracted to him. Ryota doesn't notice the princess's abnormality. He is thrilled to find that these crystals can not only increase experience points but even improve the attributes. He immediately leaves the dungeon to meet his companions. He tells them that because he can only be increased to level 1, all the experience he gained after killing monsters will be wasted. But now, as long as he wears the ring while killing monsters, he can store excess experience in crystal and share these experience points with his teammates. Later, Ryota buys lots of drops and places them in an open area, turning them all into strays. Then, he kills these monsters and gains numerous crystals. In less than a day, all his teammates level up to their maximum and their attributes also increase a lot. With all the members reaching full level, Ryota's team is even more effective in defeating monsters. The items they collected are equal to that collected by half of a family. Since Ryota suffered a lot in his previous life, he knows the importance of stocking necessities in addition to improving the team's strength, so he works hard with his companions every day to fight monsters and earn money. Interestingly, Ryota's team sells so many items every day that the guild asks Urza to live in Ryota's house directly to keep track of all their items and arrange payments. As a result, Ryota's team adds a new member. To welcome Urza, Ryota's family members hold a huge party. Learning of this, his friends all come to send congratulatory gifts. The princess who has a crush on Ryota and the leader of the Neptune family who has always wanted to recruit Ryota are also among them. Ryota enjoys this feeling very much. He used to be very lonely, always working overtime and living alone. But now, he has many friends around him. He vows to guard his current life and help everyone as much as he can. That brings the end of this anime. The story of Ryota is more like a wish of the author. He hopes that everyone who works hard can get rewards equal to their efforts and that every kind person can live a happier life. Compared to the cruelty of the real world, this anime is as beautiful as a fairy tale. Wish all of you can achieve your dreams and live the same happy life as Ryota after watching this anime. Well, that's all for today's video. If you also liked this anime, please like and subscribe to my channel. See you in the next video. Bye!